Hello and welcome to another episode of my YouTube channel. Once again, talking about the van. So, as I discussed before, just set up here. Hope you can hear me in the wind. And let's just actually shut this side part here. That's a bit better. Okay, so basically, the idea is, so the insulation is here. There's a lot of this stuff, this kind of like overhang stuff, which is used for like putting down on the windows and stuff, so you can't actually see in. I'm actually getting the windows tinted, makes it look a bit more professional, less like a camper. And the idea is to then take all this stuff off the sides, so that you have that insulation stuff underneath, and you've got all this thing here, which can come off, and I can start securing some wood paneling. Once the wood paneling's on, I can actually start working out how to put some extra storage space. So what I did actually purchase, I can just reach in here and just grab some, are hang on, very unprofessional, should be doing this a little bit more sensible. I had these out beforehand, but some of these, so basically these are kind of these little things you get for sticking on the back of chairs, you know. They, let's see, can you see that on the light? Basically it's all these storage solutions for keeping stuff nice and neat in your car. And like they've got various pouches and what have you. I haven't actually even taken them out the pack yet, because I don't intend to put them on the back seats. I intend to possibly put them up on the side here. Not entirely sure just yet. I was actually thinking initially of putting some Berkey water filter in here, but it's not designed for going around. I had all kinds of ideas to strap it down, but the thing would probably end up getting broken. The suspension is terrible in this vehicle. I'd hit one thing and it would probably snap some of the filters in there, because it's just not going to happen. So that will be staying at someone's house in the meantime. But essentially, the one thing I've actually changed, now most people, what they do, the change that I've actually thought about is, people normally like having beds and like, you know, like platforms and stuff, and that doesn't give a lot of storage space in terms of be able to put stuff underneath the bed. But since I've been sleeping on the floor for a good few years, the prospect of just actually sleeping on some of this reflective stuff, and there's a bit some other kind of stuff underneath which isn't like super soft, but I'm kind of used to kind of sleeping on quite hard surfaces. So I did actually have a swag in here, which for the benefit of my American and English friends is actually like a bedroll, so kind of like a tent kind of hybrid thing that you roll out, and it comes with a mattress and a kind of like a one-man tent kind of thing. And basically it's a little bit of a step up for me. I've been sleeping on the floor for quite a while, so, but the thing is, it takes an extraordinary amount of space in the vehicle. I mean, even when it's packed up, it's quite small I've got, but just the actual it actually be in the car, in the actual vehicle, does actually take up a ton of space. So as you can see at the moment, it's a bit of a mess. Everything's thrown in the back here. That's not all of my stuff, but I'm transitioning bit by bit from house living to living in a van, so I'm doing it bit by bit, and slowly kind of seeing what I need and what I don't need. But essentially what I've actually kind of done is, instead of having the swag with all the benefits of a mattress and everything, is just having this dry sack and just putting my sleeping bag in there afterwards. So it does take a lot less space. I mean, this thing is like, you know, takes absolutely no space whatsoever. And once I actually get some wooden paneling on the sides, it'll make the vertical sides of the vehicle a lot easier to actually attach stuff onto. The other thing I've thought of, although I've not entirely kind of thought the actual thing through, is to have a sink section, which would actually, I've seen some guy on one channel, if you move all this shit, you can actually see that there you've got the actual wheel arch there. Now, because I'm losing that space really in terms of where it's actually placed against the vehicle, I'm thinking of actually building a sink just above it. Like, nothing too big, just something to just have a quick rinse of stuff. I don't use anything particularly toxic, it's all eco stuff, so in terms of like exiting the pipe underneath the actual kind of like a wheel rim, it should be fine. It's obviously not recommended if you're going to be pouring bleach and various other chemicals down there, because it ends up in the water. But pretty much it ends up in the water if you're kind of doing it in your sink as well. But just to be on the safe side, I don't actually use any of that kind of nasty stuff anyway. So, but yeah, that's the plan. what will happen, I'm not entirely sure. What I'm actually thinking of doing is, as you can see, that battery there is not attached in the slightest. I don't feel comfortable driving around on the highways at the moment until that thing is somehow secured. So that's in the idea of actually installing some things into the van to actually secure things like that down. The battery in the actual kind of van itself isn't particularly attached either, which is quite concerning. But because it's an old car battery and I actually have a house bank battery and I don't know what to do with the thing, I think there may be enough room to actually place that one in its place. It's a deep cycle marine battery as well. I don't think it will have any issues with the cranking power because I've had no issues with my other car over there, my Ute, when I changed it from a car battery to a deep cycle marine battery. No issues whatsoever, so I don't see why it should have it with here. So I'm just going to see if I can actually fit the thing in. Hopefully I will, because otherwise I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing. So I've just got like a battery which is in perfect good condition. Ideally it's best not to actually have different ages of batteries. Really you want to get like the battery bank and the actual car battery at the same time, so they're kind of like twins, but so they don't leach power off each other. However, it's going to be better and newer than the actual current battery in there, so we'll do that. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit, so I will stop now and yeah, see if that battery fits in there. It should do. I've measured it, but we'll have to see.